Rollins ambushed on Raw. Vision attack shocks Raw. Evans advances in chaos. Raw turns violent fast. Rollins falls, Evans rises. What happens when one of WWE's most calculated minds gets caught off guard in a place where he usually controls everything? And more importantly, what does it mean when a rising name like Evans starts picking up momentum at the exact same time chaos starts swallowing everyone around him? Raw didn't just feel like another weekly show this time. It felt like something shifted. Like someone quietly turned a dial backstage and suddenly everything got louder, faster, more dangerous. And right at the center of it all was Seth Rollins, and the Vision. Now, you'd think by now Seth Rollins would have seen every possible version of chaos WWE can throw at him. This is a guy who's been burned, betrayed, rebuilt, reinvented, and then somehow still finds himself back in the fire like it's just another Tuesday. But this time, this didn't feel like the usual Rollins survives and laughs it off situation. This felt different. Because the Vision didn't just attack him. They didn't just jump him for a quick shock moment and disappear. No, this had weight behind it. Like a statement was being carved into the show in real time. It started off normal enough, at least WWE normal. You know that calm before the storm feeling where the crowd is still settling in, commentators are talking like everything is fine, and you're sitting there thinking, okay, what's the main event going to set up tonight? And then it happens. 1 second Seth Rollins is in control of his space, doing what he does best, talking, pacing, that unsettling calm confidence he always has when he's trying to get ahead of something before it even forms. And the next second, everything just collapses into chaos. No warning. No fair fight. Just impact. The Vision came in like they had been waiting for that exact moment. Like they didn't want a match, didn't want a conversation, didn't even want a reaction. They wanted a message. And Seth Rollins was the canvas. And you know what makes it worse? The timing. Because Rollins wasn't even in the middle of some heated rivalry segment or post-match exhaustion. It was almost surgical. Like they studied the rhythm of the show and picked the exact beat where Seth would be the most exposed. And I don't know about you, but that's the kind of thing that sticks with you as a viewer. Because it stops feeling like wrestling storytelling and starts feeling like someone is actually getting targeted. The crowd reaction said everything. That shift from noise to confusion to shock, that quiet split second where nobody really knows if they should cheer or gasp first. That's when you know something landed the right way. Seth didn't even get the chance to fully process it before the damage was done. And the scary part is, the Vision didn't overdo it. They didn't need to. A few moments. A few precise hits. And then they were gone. That's what makes it worse. Because when someone destroys you and leaves quickly, it doesn't give you closure. It just leaves you with questions. And that's exactly where Raw starts to twist the knife a little deeper. Because while all of this is happening, while Seth Rollins is literally dealing with the aftermath of being blindsided, the show doesn't slow down. WWE never really pauses for emotional recovery. It just keeps moving like nothing happened. And that's when Evans comes into focus. Now here's where things start to feel almost poetic in a weird wrestling kind of way. Because while chaos is swallowing one veteran whole, someone new is quietly climbing. Evans doesn't come out with fireworks of his own story being told in the same space. He just does what he's been doing, showing up and proving he belongs. And in this particular night, that matters more than anything else. Because tournaments in WWE aren't just about wins. They're about timing. And Evans picked the exact right moment to step forward. Every move he makes in that match feels like it carries extra weight, not because the match itself is overly complicated, but because the environment around it is unstable. It's like everyone is aware that something big just happened earlier, even if they're not saying it out loud. And that's what makes Evans' surge feel important. He's not just advancing. He's advancing while everything else is shaking. You can almost feel the contrast building without anyone directly pointing it out. Seth Rollins gets ambushed. Evans moves forward. Chaos in one corner, momentum in another. And fans online? Oh, they definitely notice. You already know how wrestling fans are. One half is saying, this is the start of a bigger story for Rollins, and the other half is like, wait a minute, is Evans about to become that guy faster than expected? And honestly, both arguments kind of make sense. But let's go back to Rollins for a second, because his reaction afterward matters more than the attack itself. There's a certain stillness that comes after moments like that. Not silence, but something heavier. The kind of pause where a character doesn't immediately jump into revenge mode, because even they realize this isn't just about fighting back. This is about understanding what just happened. And Seth Rollins is not someone who likes unanswered questions. You can almost imagine him replaying it in his head. The timing. The positioning. The fact that the Vision didn't hesitate. Because hesitation tells you something. But confidence in an attack like that tells you something else entirely. It tells you they believe they can do it again. And that's the part that lingers. Meanwhile, Evans keeps moving through the tournament, and every step forward starts to feel a little heavier. Not because of pressure from his opponent, but because of the environment he's rising in. It's like climbing a ladder while the building is shaking. You can still climb. But you're very aware that something underneath is unstable. And this is where the storytelling gets interesting, because WWE doesn't always directly connect these threads right away. Sometimes they let them breathe separately before snapping them together later in a way that hits harder. So right now, we're sitting in that waiting phase. Rollins dealing with the Vision. Evans building momentum. And the audience stuck in the middle trying to figure out where this is all heading. And if you're watching closely, you start to notice little things. The way commentary avoids fully explaining the Vision's motives. The way they emphasize Rollins' condition without giving full clarity. The way Evans is slowly being framed as more than just another tournament guy. It's subtle. Almost too subtle. But that's usually how WWE sets up bigger collisions. And let's be real for a second, this is the kind of setup that makes fans argue for days. Because on one side, you've got Seth Rollins, a guy who has built his entire career on control, manipulation, and turning chaos into advantage. And now he's the one getting blindsided. On the other side, you've got Evans, a rising name who is starting to pick up momentum at a time when the landscape is wide open. And somewhere in the middle, the Vision is operating like they're not just attacking people, but redirecting the entire flow of the show. That's the uncomfortable part. Because when a faction doesn't just target one person but instead disrupts multiple moving parts of the show, it stops being personal and starts feeling structural. Like they're trying to rewrite how things work.